If you've watched any video that I posted before, you may have heard me from time to time hint at the type of market that we're in and how it kind of calls for you doing certain things. So I thought I'd take a moment to really flesh out what the heck I'm actually talking about. And all that kind of really boils down to just answering the question, are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market? Hey, my name is Glenice Johnson with Artformhomes and eXp Realty, and I am an agent serving the greater Birmingham area. So when you ask what it means to be in either a buyer's market or a seller's market, it really kind of correlates with the notion of supply and demand. Whichever one of these is a little more abundant can kind of determine if it's a buyer's or a seller's. With buyers, it's more supply. With sellers, it's more demand. So to answer the question, what market are we in? We are in a seller's market, which means that there's a low supply or inventory of homes. There are more buyers than there are homes to buy, and essentially the real estate ball is in the seller's court. So now, quick shout out to sellers, just so you know, if this is your time, that this world is yours and we just trying to buy your house. So if you're watching this right now and you are potential sellers, someone considering putting your home on the market, you're asking if it's a good time, yes. Please put your house on the market. Put your house on the market. We need more inventory. We need more houses for these homeowners to buy. So yes, this is the perfect time. It is completely advantageous for you to put your house on the market. Like I said, it's your world. We just trying to buy your house, right? So what does that mean if you're a buyer, especially if you're a first time buyer? Well, I wanted to take some time to really kind of flesh that out. So it really means three things. The first thing that it means is that you have to take this home buying process seriously. Get pre-approved, get an agent, get knowledgeable, get proactive, get strategic, get motivated. These houses are not waiting for you to be like, oh, I'm contemplating if I'm going to buy. Do you want to buy a house? Yes or no? Get in and do the work. You got to take it seriously. You cannot go into this journey haphazardly and without knowledge. And that's kind of the whole point of this channel, because those of you that are new, if you're not doing this for the first time, you don't know what kind of market we're in. So jumping in and knowing those things and knowing what you got to do to show up in that kind of market to where you can really be able to snag your house is important. Do the work. And connect with the proper professionals who are going to walk you through this adequately, so you can get your home. Yeah. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that you've got to be ready to pay. You got to be ready to pay. I've said this in a video before. Save aggressively. Save aggressively. Having money to spend, your own money to spend, is really more so for competitive and negotiating purposes more than anything else. The notion of sellers being able to maybe pay your closing costs or buy your home warranty or pay for certain repairs and things like that is definitely not unheard of. It's not unheard of. It is a complete norm. However, your need of it can be a disadvantage to you with how competitive the market is for buyers right now. Because again, if you're putting up an offer and you are requiring a cut of that seller's payoff through either paying for closing costs or needing a home warranty or termite bond, all these things that can be negotiated for the seller to pay. If the next person doesn't need those things, what do you think the seller's going to choose? The seller's trying to get the most money, as they should. They're trying to get the most money in their payout when they sell their house. That's the whole point of them owning that home, was to have the benefit of being able to, to gain that wealth, that extra cash. So it's gonna be smart for them to go with the offer that's gonna give them the most money. So you got to make sure you're that offer. I'll say having a few $1,000s on hand, it's not going to cut it. Anything, less than 5, it doesn't shut you out. Hear me. It doesn't shut you out. But no, set your expectations that it will be difficult. It may be a little difficult, just depending on the type of house you choose. It may be a little difficult. So again, I'm going to bring it back to save aggressively. If you have, as you should, have talked with the lender and they've gotten you on an adequate path to getting yourself eligible, and you got some time, you got some work to do, and it's going to take you a little time, also prioritizing you working to, cut down that debt, or working to, build up that score, whatever you're doing. Make sure that savings account is also top priority with those endeavors as well. So when you're ready and you're eligible, you also got a good chunk of change to devote to the process, right? I'll say down payment assistance programs are great. They're great, and they're gonna benefit because they cut out your down payment. But I don't hang your hopes entirely on those things, because again, you also have closing costs. You have pre-closing costs, and with the likes of inspections, all those inspections that you have to do, because we're in a buyer beware state and you definitely need to do inspections. You may have to do a few, and some of them can be as cheap as under $100. Some of them can be $300-$400 a piece. You just never know. So you got to be ready to do that. And also considering earnest money. Earnest money is a pre-closing expense. That's an offer expense. That's something you put up with your offer to kind of show you got skin in the game and kind of really sweeten your offer for the seller to see. And your ability to be flexible with that is crucial. Because a lot of times, a rule of thumb with earnest money, that check you send in with your offer to show how serious you are about the house, a rule of thumb is that it's serious when it's at least at 1%. Meaning if you're trying to buy a house that's like $200,000, $300 in earnest money, that's not going to be taken seriously with other offers that are presenting, well over that. So your ability to be flexible with that earnest money and be able to, put up a little bit, at least $1,000, depending on the house range, which usually first time home buyers, you're usually between that $100,000 to $200,000 range. It's important to be able to put that up because that's going to make your deal look better and make it more competitive. So yeah, and also considering you may have to be open to maybe paying a little bit over the appraised value, considering if you're financing, if you're getting your loan, you're getting a loan, especially if it's a federal loan like FHA or VA, they have their appraisal is crucial. They're not going to give you any more than what's the appraised value. And yes, you can always get a second opinion and always see if you can get that amount of. But if the appraisal is what it is and it's less than what you're offering, it may help if you're presenting an offer and you put in a little notion that you can pay a little bit over the appraised value. Maybe not if it appraised for like $10,000 less. No, maybe no. But maybe like $1,000 or $2,000 over. It may sweeten your deal just a little bit. This is a strategy. It's about being competitive. So there's things like that. All of that flows into you got to be ready to pay, which means this is a part of your prep work. Be able to gather as much money as you can and know as much as you can. It's just about being strategic. So having money on hand, even if you've got a down payment assistance situation set up, that's great. That cuts into your expenses for sure, but it don't cut into all of them. And it's not going to bring you down from having to pay thousands to maybe a few hundred. It's not going to be that drastic of a cut down. So just be mindful of that. So the third thing it means is that when you're in, let's say you've gotten an offer, you beat out a whole bunch of other ones, and you've gotten an offer. Your offer was accepted. Your offer was accepted. You got to be reasonable with your repair requests. Meaning, it's not a pass for you just to accept anything. No, it's not a pass for you to accept anything, but also it's more so of a reminder to just kind of prioritize major items. Prioritize things that are going to be negatively impactful financially, or going to be an issue with your health and safety, or maybe something that may be flagged with your lender. Because again, if you have a federal loan, they require it to be they require certain conditions. And if there's an issue something that's going to impact your health and safety, they're not going to give you a loan for a home that can potentially harm you, because that's a liability. So prioritize those things. So essentially what I'm saying is, like, don't be petty with the cosmetic stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in a previous video, like, if the walls are a color you don't like, paint them something different. I wouldn't advise to use up all of your request energy for little things, especially if there's a big ticket situation on the table and it's impacting either your loan or impacting something financially that you'll have to deal with on the other side. Kind of really prioritize those things. Try not to, the seller is trying to leave the house and move on, and so they're not trying to essentially renovate the whole house for you in order to give it over to you. So kind of keep that in mind. Just major ticket items, keep that as your focus. Make sure you can get on the other side of this deal without acquiring a heavy debt, or make sure you can get through to the end of the deal and it's not something that's threatening your lending process or anything like that. So just kind of keep the main thing, prioritize those things. So those are 3 things that it means for you as a buyer. It's a battlefield out here for buyers. Again, it doesn't shut you out. It doesn't mean that this is impossible, because it's not. Knowledge is power. You can definitely do this. It's just the more you know, the more you prepare, the better the outcome for you. And so that really, honestly, that's the whole point of this channel, especially for first-time homeowners. You come in, you don't know what the heck kind of market we're in, but now you know that it's a little cutthroat out here for us buyers. So you can't really just be like just kind of haphazard with it. You gotta get on it, know your stuff, do your research, get with the proper professionals, and be reasonable and be willing to listen to the expertise of the experts that you hire around you. Be reasonable, and take that in. So hopefully that helps give you some perspective. Hopefully that helps, put your aspirations in more of a realistic, setting. Again, I want to encourage you. You can do it. You can get your home. It's just that if you move with ignorance, it's going to be more of a struggle. So move with knowledge. Move with seeking clarity. Move with being reasonable. Move with the intention to just bypass the assumptions that you can do it on your own, because it's going to be more difficult if you try. Get an agent, connect with lenders, all of that good stuff. Don't try to self-diagnose your financial situation. Talk with the lender. Know exactly what you need to do. Save your money. You can do all those things. So that's all I got. I hope this was helpful. Again, if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer them for you. Check out the last video I did on house hunting tips, because you're gonna be jumping into this, so that should be helpful as well. It's all about kind of the same thing of being reasonable, being strategic, being knowledgeable, all that good stuff. So I'll post a link to that video from last week as well. You can take a look at that. So again, that's all I got for today, y'all. Much love, take care, and I'll talk to you later.